Today's podcast is sponsored by Field Agent Canada. If I'm online trying to figure out what to buy, I really like the products that I'm looking at to not only have a good number of reviews to help me make my decision, but I really wish they would be current.
Listen, it's really hard to do that. As a marketer that has worked with a bunch of brands, we're always asking for people to leave reviews, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Then they should be using Field Agent to get reviews on those items. It's inexpensive, it's fast, and Field Agent can do all the work to make sure your online items have enough reviews. And then new reviews will be added each month.
Can Field Agent reviews be placed on items on my brand website as well as with the retailer?
Come on, Phil. Of course they can. You know they can. You just need to supply a list of products and where you want the reviews to be posted. Jeff and his team take care of the rest and get those reviews up and running.
I have to say, the guys at Field Agent, they do love working with companies of all sizes, big and small. So you're going to get great service. And then, if you need 100 reviews or you need 1,000 reviews, 10,000 reviews, these guys can manage that. If you need online reviews, you need Field Agent.
www.fieldagentcanada.com. Hey, welcome to This Commerce Life, an unscripted podcast that focuses on the stories behind small and independent Canadian retail and Canadian CPG.
What we try and do is deliver or pull out the story of our guests and give them to you. The good, the bad, the ugly of retail and CPG in Canada. We're filling a need because we think that retail is hard on the best of days, but it's also a wonderful, wonderful place to grow up and make your living.
We also think that the industry, nor the people that inadvertently find themselves in the industry, really understand the industry at all. They don't really understand what goes on behind the scenes.
So listen to us, Phil and Kenny. We'll unravel it for you. We'll give you the story. We'll give you the story behind the story. I mismanaged my time. I was hoping to get another coffee, but there we go. Good morning.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Yeah, my goodness. Thanks for jumping on and doing this with us.
Oh my gosh, thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, of course.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. I spent the last 2 days with at Sea Isle in Toronto with a whole bunch of the beverage Atlantic guys. Yeah.
I didn't realize you were there.
Yeah. Were you there too?
Yeah.
Oh, darn it.
We were walking the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. I'm just watching because I was building videos for Haskell and the station, and I was just doing the Barbers one. So yeah.
Yeah. So we went out for a group dinner. They called it a group dinner, but it was more of a group drinking event last night, and we sat with Charlie. Yeah, he's a very nice fellow.
Yeah. I love that line, right? Because he says to me, he goes, "You want to know what a Haskell farmer looks like? This is what a Haskell." All right, Charlie, you got it.
You got the job?
Yeah, he's a cool dude, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And so, are you both in Toronto?
No.
We're coast to coast. Kenny's Vancouver, so we woke him up at the crack of dawn.
My gosh. Yeah.
Well, for me, it's a crack of dawn. For you two, maybe not, but for me, it's a crack of dawn.
Yeah. I think anytime I wake up in the morning, it's the crack of dawn.
It feels like it, right? Some mornings, it's just worse than others.
And I don't know, as I get older, it's getting worse. I used to own a restaurant until a year and a half ago. Okay. And I'm used to evenings, I think. And it's never going to leave me.
Yeah.
Hating mornings. And funny thing is, I woke up only 20 minutes ago and realized my appointment was St. John's time, not Toronto time.
Oh.
So, anyway, it's a good thing I woke up.
Fine. You're up and at it.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. No, thank you for doing this. We appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it. It's my first podcast.
Oh, is it?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll We'll make it easy. We'll make it easy.
We've done so many first podcasts. They're fun to do.
Yeah.
I'm very nervous, I gotta say.
No,
Really?
don't be.
Yeah.
No, don't be. This is it. Like, this is, like,
this is complicated. I'm half asleep. You were out last night, and we don't know what people in Toronto do, so whatever they do, it's all good.
They find socialist bars around the corner from their apartment and eat Cuban sandwiches at midnight is what they do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm all over that.
That actually sounds amazing.
I'm all over that.
It was. I can't. The bar. It was the coolest little bar I've ever been to, and we just walked by it on our way home. And here we are today.
It just called to you, so you kind of.
Yeah.
Those
in
are the best bars, right? Like,
Parkdale, of all places. I grew up in Toronto. Parkdale was a place you didn't go into after dark. Yeah. And we're staying in Parkdale, and I'm just like, wow, what a
Parkdale's like fancy.
I want to live.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Parkdale's fancy now. Nobody can afford to live there anymore.
Yeah, I know, and it's not. It's still held on to a lot of its. Yeah, like, it still looks like Parkdale.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so it's neat.
Yeah, a lot of kind of repurposed buildings, and those landmarks are still there, but it's definitely not.
It's not old Parkdale. I joked at the bar last night. I said, like, back in the day, you wouldn't go past Oyster Boy.
Yeah,
on
that's right.
You know what I mean? That was as far as you would go into Parkdale.
You are not wrong, actually. That's actually very apt. So hang on a second. So we should start there, because you grew up in Toronto, and then where do you live now?
I live in Newfoundland, in Gander.
Okay, in Gander.
Oh, cool.
The home of Come From Away, the musical.
Yeah. How do you? I think we know a bunch
very
of people
convoluted story.
But how do you go from, like, what makes you do that?
So my parents were Newfoundlanders.
Okay.
I grew up. I was born in Montreal. Kind of, my dad worked for CBC, so I'm like a military brat. Back in the 70s, with a lot of the Liberal money, they were refurbishing all of the CBC TV stations across Canada. So his job was to go and rewire them. So he kind of moved around with him wherever his next job was. So I've kind of lived all over Canada.
That's pretty cool.
It was. I went to a lot, like probably 12, 16 different schools growing up.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but I don't know. I think it kind of made me who I am today. I can talk to anybody. I can make friends wherever I go. I'm not. I don't have social anxiety, which I think a lot of people have these days.
Yeah.
So, so in my 20s, I worked for Trimark Mutual Funds, which back in the day was one of the top employers. I lucked into a job when I was 19 as a file clerk, and I left there as a marketing manager when I was 30.
Amazing.
So that was pretty cool. And me and my ex-husband now decided to move to Newfoundland and open a small inn and bistro. So we did that.
What motivated that move? What's the like?
We were foodies. We loved food. We loved small inns. We loved to travel. And I really I've always wanted to live in Newfoundland. Like, as a child, it was such a romantic idea. Like, I want to go and live by the ocean and go to the market and eat fish every day. There are no fish markets in Newfoundland, because everything gets sent up, right? But anyway, so we did that for 3 years, and had another. I had a child from a previous marriage, and then we had another child in the middle of tourist season, and we sold it that fall, I believe, and moved into Gander to do just the restaurant, which I did for 20 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's a grind.
It was a real grind. So it was hard working with a spouse if you have different ideas. So in 2013 we separated. I purchased his half in 2018. I took a hit in 2019 to convert it. I'd started the tea company in 2016, kind of on the side at home in my dining room as a way to get through the separation and kind of separate myself a little bit financially from him.
Right.
And so in 2019, I converted it was a bistro, fine dining bistro, as they call it in Newfoundland. I converted that into the Newfoundland Tea Company bistro. Through the shop into the middle of the restaurant. It was a really cool local spot. I was local before local was a thing, selling local products and promoting smaller businesses.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I took a hit in 2019, knowing full well I wasn't going to make any money because I converted the whole restaurant over. And then in February of 2020, in celebration of our upcoming tourist season and being completely ready, myself and my manager daughter went to Mexico, and then COVID hit. And anyway, life got really weird for 5 years.
Yeah.
Really, really weird.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah. So I weathered the storm until the end of 2023. And then I just kind of had a menopausal moment, I guess you would call it, where I was like, frig this, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I contacted somebody who owned a restaurant in Gander and sold the business for contents. And I was like, you've got to go by the end of the year. I can't do this. I had a double hip replacement 3 years ago. So it made it like unattainable. My work, I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand anymore for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit going on in a pretty tight time though, too.
Yeah, it was a lot of shit. Like it was, yeah. I turned into a different person during this time. I think I'm just coming out of it now. I was very, I was in pain. Doctors couldn't tell me what was wrong with me for years. And it turned out I had no cartilage in either hip. So I was frustrated. I was angry. I was depressed. I was sad. I was financially, like the financials alone would have been sent a nut house. So yeah, got out of the restaurant and didn't really know what I was going to do. I didn't make anything off the sale of the restaurant, just kind of got myself out of debt to zero space. And the tea company was growing locally. And so, yeah, I went on a sailboat for a month last year, trying to find myself. And I came home and I just hit the ground running, opened a new little retail warehouse space in Gander, started attending trade shows off the island in January. And so last year I doubled my sales. I sold $111,000 worth of tea.
Nice. Just
pretty much in Newfoundland, which
that's awesome.
It's a premium organic product. So that's kind of like a really big feat for an island like Newfoundland. And yeah, and I've tripled my sales already this year just by attending a few trade shows in Toronto, Halifax, and Moncton.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty pleased. Yeah.
Okay. I have so many questions, but maybe one of the so why? So I understand I respect it. Wanting to build something to distract yourself. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
I think you're amazing because you're like, oh, I'll get divorced. I'll have a restaurant. I'll just build another business on the side.
There's a lot of stuff going on there.
He didn't think I was amazing.
Whatever. That doesn't matter. That's secondary. But why? So what was it about tea that kind of made you do the tea? Because you really could have gone drinking.
I could have done anything.
Well, it appears like you can do it.
You could have done anything. Why tea? And then
why tea?
That's a funny story because I'm actually more of a coffee drinker, and I drink a lot of it. I
knew coffee drinkers.
I was going to become a coffee roaster, and I attended the Canadian Coffee and Tea Trade Show in Toronto in September of 2016. And while we were there, I met with a few tea people, just kind of like, oh, what's this about kind of thing. And it dawned on me that in Newfoundland, we are a culture of every childhood memory I have of visiting relatives was drinking tea. The tea culture is very, very strong. The problem, though, as an aside, is that the tea culture is Tetley, Red Rose.
Yeah.
The flaky, chemical laden.
Yeah.
How about just lousy tea?
Yeah, pretty much, right? And
you're gonna mix milk, heavy sugar.
Lots of sugar because you got to kill it all. Honey.
Yeah. So there was a tea company in Newfoundland years ago called the Newfoundland Tea Company. And when I was looking for a name, this is just an aside, I realized that, and I was, they didn't use that though as their name. I can't remember what they were called, but that was their, formal name. So I took that name on, and I realized that there was one tea shop in Newfoundland that sold something other than crappy tea, and they had closed a couple years previously. They were located on Water Street downtown in a beautiful building, and it just, for whatever reason, I guess it didn't work out. So I kind of took a chance on tea, and I was like, if they drink Tetley, they'll drink, everything.
That makes sense. Yeah,
that's a quantum leap, though, right? I mean, really, not for anything, but no, that's not how it typically works. They drink Tetley because they drink Tetley.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So
So let back up for 1 second, though.
Yeah.
So Nicole, but you're a coffee enthusiast, so I'm still not understanding. Like, is the tea was just because it was there? Like you had this off?
No,
because honestly, that doesn't explain how you get the tea still. Because I'm thinking, so we know we drink crappy tea in Newfoundland, and we know you drink coffee.
Yep.
So you end up with a tea company.
I ended up with a tea company.
A premium tea company.
A premium loose leaf.
Organic. Why not? It's not even bad. Oh, good for you. If you're gonna go big.
I pretty much, yeah. So I don't know if I went into it smartly. I didn't do any market research whatsoever. Literally went to a show to learn about how to roast coffee and came home with a new tea company and 8 blends. But the tea culture
I knew there was a logical string there. That's why I was pulling. I think that's clearly, that makes total sense now.
Yeah, but it worked. And funnily enough, I've been able to convert a lot of the Tetley drinkers in Newfoundland. So that's kind of cool too. Yeah. But yeah, the tea culture is very, very strong. The history. It's mostly English, British, Irish, at least in the areas that I live in and east. So yeah, it's alive and well, tea culture in Newfoundland. And I find it's a younger demographic now who are looking, I started this almost 10 years ago. And, back then it was a much harder sell. And I didn't spend a lot of time selling it. It was always a side gig. And it wasn't until I was ready to sell a restaurant when the tea was ready to become my full-time income. It was, I don't approach my businesses like a lot of people do. It's more, I go at things from my heart and then figure out how it's going to work after, and I've been very, very lucky that it's worked every time.
Okay, but I only know you a little bit, and I'm feeling like you've got some very strong gut instincts, and then you also have a lot of experience, right? Like, because restaurants are a little bit like that, right? There's some science, and then there's a whole lot of gut, right? And then there's some really solid. Trying to see if my accountant wife is around anywhere, but some really solid gut financial, makes about sense.
Exactly.
For the audience that can't see me, I'm literally guessing with my fingers, because so you've got the tools for, to kind of figure out the business. So I don't know.
Sure, you have something there
but you also have you have chops for sure, like that.
Oh,
but you have to have some guts.
Yeah.
I guess I've got a lot of guts. Sometimes I don't have as much brains to go with my guts, but I figure it out as I go,
That's okay.
We're like I said before, it's kind of dangerous though, right? Because it can go, I mean, honestly, you picked tough industries to be in. Yeah. Restaurant business is not easy.
No.
And you made a run at it because most people don't make it. Because again, passions are great, but it's what the game's like. That's a tough gig. And then if you're in pain because of the hips and you're it's not, that doesn't sound like, it can be a lot of fun, but it sounds like there's just so much always going on. And then if you got some physical problems on top of it, plus you were going through other shit too, and which didn't help.
COVID was
COVID. Yeah. I mean,
it was insane what it did. And it was a family business. My daughter was my manager.
Oh, wow.
And my son worked in the kitchen part-time. He was in school. So it affected and my manager daughter, because she wasn't arm's length, didn't qualify for a lot of the help that the government was giving.
Right.
Yeah.
But they were sending my summer students home with $2,000 a month to sit at home. It was such a weird it made me very angry. I was very angry. I think I'm just coming out of the anger years.
Yeah, I can understand that though.
Yeah, we understand that. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it was kind of an upside down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was our first run at it, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
maybe on the next one we'll be a little smarter.
Yeah. We joke about it, but man, like, who knows?
No, let's not even look at it. I don't.
One was more than enough.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. So tell us about tea. So you have this kind of rockin' tea, and your packaging is beautiful. The
Thank you.
website's beautiful. Like,
Well, now Phil's snooping. I'm going to snoop too.
I'm snooping for sure. Like,
Yeah.
you know, this thing, like, so do you do retail and e-commerce, or you just do e-commerce, or?
I do e-commerce, retail, wholesale.
Okay.
Mostly wholesale
Okay.
is my bread and butter right now.
Okay.
I probably I go at everything backwards. It always ends up for me for whatever reason, probably because I don't do enough in the front end. So right now, this year I've been focusing mostly on getting the product out of Newfoundland and into other people's hands.
Okay.
E-commerce is something I have always struggled with, mostly because I've done everything myself, and I hire freelancers. So the packaging was actually that's a moose on the package.
I was going to say, the moose with a cup kind of idea is pretty cool.
I love that.
And he's
Really
got
love it.
tea leaves for antlers.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell that's pretty slick.
Yeah, so I hired a freelancer out of India and told him because we're in central Newfoundland, and through the years owning the restaurant, every time travelers would come through, when they leave, you would say, "Watch out for the moose," because there's moose on the highway and there's quite a few accidents. So, and they will take you out, right? Like, I mean, they're bigger than. So I said I would like to have a moose as part of my logo. I don't know how, but see what you can come up with. And
I think it's really clever.
So his wife was actually an illustrator, so she drew it. They did a ton of research from India about central Newfoundland. They learned about our native indigenous tribe that no longer exists, called the Beothics. And she drew this Beothic artwork moose, and he converted it to a graphic. And it was their first thing they showed me, and I was like, "Yeah, this is it.
This is it.
This is it." Yeah.
I love it. It was the first thing I noticed. I'm glad you got to the moose story, because I'm thinking, and not for anything, because I mean, I've never been to Newfoundland. I mean, moose, I think northern BC, like moose.
Okay, yeah. No,
right? I'm thinking the rock is big, but it's not that big. I didn't think there was like a moose thing going on the rock.
They brought them to Newfoundland back in the early 1900s. I'm not sure why.
Why?
I don't know, but now they're like rabbits, right? Like, there's probably more moose than rabbits. Like,
no natural predators, probably, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, they're wonderful animals. They're beautiful. I mean,
they're stupid, but they're beautiful.
A little ordinary. They're kind of stupid and like very short-tempered, right?
Which people don't realize that. They think that they're, oh, look at the big, beautiful.
They're afraid of nothing, actually.
No, I know people that have had their skidoos trampled by moose.
Yeah.
And to what you said, like if you hit a moose on the highway, it's like hitting a tree.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna do damage.
They're gonna take you out.
Yeah, they're gonna do damage.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was a thing there though. Because the logo, like honestly, the logo was the first thing I noticed. I thought, holy shit, man, that's really cool. I don't know the moose story until now, but I think that is a really cool logo. It's a cool look, and the artwork is spectacular. It's a pretty package. You've done really well with it. It's nice.
Thank you.
I really like that.
Yeah, and I didn't want to, like, pretty pink feminine things don't appeal to me.
Okay.
And I found it's got a masculine look to it, if that makes sense. Like, it kind of, the packaging appeals to both men and women.
Definitely dark.
It works both ways though. The black is probably a little bit more manly, for lack of a better way to say it. I mean, I think it's actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is masculine. I just think
I think it's a pretty package, to be honest.
The moose and the kind of the teal and the orange color.
I really like it. I think it's actually just really. I'm looking at the
more,
the box one.
The more I look at it, the more you kind of like.
Do you
It's
see
cool.
different things?
You want to be around it all the time. Actually, it's kind of.
Oh wow, thank you.
Yeah. It'd be a cool tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I never thought about that.
I was thinking about that too, Kenny.
No, it would be because it's just got that. It's it's not
Clean
my
lines.
style of it, but it's got a cool look and the colors are pleasant.
Oh, I would do that. I would.
Yeah, it's neat.
That might be the first time I've ever actually said that.
I
So
can't
when you
believe Phil
do it, I
said
want a photo.
Yeah, but I.
So do I.
I would do that.
I want to actually be there. I'm dying to see that one.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, so the tea you wholesale a lot. So who carries you now?
Right now, I'm in a bunch of shops in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
I've got a few that have been with me right from the beginning.
Okay.
And on the mainland, I'm in one grocer on the mainland, but mostly it's been gift shops.
Okay.
And
so it lends well to it.
Yeah, and boutiques and people like me, I find are the ones who seem to buy my product for their shops, and which makes it very easy. I like the relationship I have and can nurture with people like me. It's not a hard sell to people like me. Yeah.
Are you in any of the majors on the rock then? Like, I mean, like the old co-ops, I think are all Sobeys now, or
No, I was in Belbin's, which is now owned by Coleman's.
Yeah.
right.
With our oldest grocer.
Yeah.
It's funny. I didn't do well there. And I think it's because it was downtown where some of the places that have had me for a while, it just didn't seem to do well downtown St. John's at the
Your
Belbin's.
price point's probably that too, though. I think it definitely lends to clearly you got to like tea and you got to be like to spend money. And grocers, you're trying to convert a Tetley to what we talked about before. Unless they already know it, you're not going to have a much shelf thing. Oh my God, I should pay 3 times the amount because that looks better. They're not
enough time for the packaging to pop either, right? Like it's beautiful packaging, but when you're in that aisle,
the wall of tea,
the wall of tea, you might as well be selling in cosmetics, right? Like it's kind of like
actually probably lend better there.
Yeah, there you go.
So I do get it. Like, but I love the. Yeah, okay, I got it. But your costs are not crazy. Like they fit for what
my costs are kind of in line with non-organic brands.
Or your retails. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah. It's nice. It's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think it's definitely not out of control. It's nice looking. I do really like it.
Yeah. Have you talked to? I feel like Whole Foods would chew this one up.
I haven't. I'm part of the reason for that is I'm on an island that's so far away, and just how I still feel like I'm new at this.
Yeah.
The restaurant, although it was the restaurant, it came easy to me, whereas I find, and maybe that's because I had control of everything, if that makes sense. All I had to do was tell the people who came in my restaurant. They were coming.
CPG is very difficult. It's different because, to your point, you don't have the control. The control is all in the hands, like in our industry, of the retailer.
But
and and that's a lot different than customers.
Yes.
Like customers.
Yes.
It's a different.
It might not be right? Like
I don't know.
Maybe you stay in cafes, because like cafes are across the country are a thing again, right?
Yeah.
They were there and then they weren't with the pandemic and now they're coming back. Like, so there's some, sorry, you were going to say something, especially
with tea. Like tea has become much more, people don't want the flaky, crappy tea. They go to if they're going to a place that they're spending $6 and $7 for a coffee, they don't want Tetley.
No.
Right.
You're definitely coffee bar, tea bar, whatever you want to call it, world. I love I think the tourist angle is, you should be in every tourist spot on the rock.
I agree.
Anywhere there's a ferry, like all those things, like anywhere people stop, every lighthouse, whatever, like that should be the thing.
Yeah, it should be. It's getting
because it is a pretty look. It's a really nice package, nice gifty.
Yeah, it is. And I have 2. So I have a 100-gram size and a 40-gram size, and minis, which are 3 cups. So like all 3 sell well depending on where they're, So yeah.
And you manufacture these or produce these in Gander, like so you have like
a
a little
space.
packing warehouse or whatever you
Yep.
want to call it, or so you
Yep.
mix and blend and do your
Yep.
tea magic.
Yeah. So 7 of the blends are mine, and I have 28 blends now. I started with 8. 7 of them are mine, and some I bring in and repack. English breakfast. Wild blueberry, for instance, is one that I buy from my supplier and just repack. It's perfect. Blueberries are very popular in Newfoundland, so I'm not going to mess with that blend. But the top selling teas all happen to be also the ones that I blend myself. So that's kind of cool.
That's actually very cool.
Yeah, and I have one called Caramel Latte that is actually a vanilla tea with coffee beans. So I'm noticing, like in the beginning, people would say tea. Oh, I don't drink tea. Now I'm getting, tea. I'm trying to get off coffee. I have to drink less caffeine. So I'm getting a lot of people converting over to tea. And those are people who were drinking a quality coffee. So now they want a quality tea.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think like if you're, I don't know, you're a serious coffee drinker like us, right? So the routine or the rigmarole that you go through to get a nice coffee, you're not afraid to do.
Yeah.
But then you're right, like by the end of the day, I drink coffee, but I want to go to sleep too, right? So then I got to back off the coffee somewhere. But I also then why would I go from an amazing experience to a shitty one, right? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
it's not a thing, right? And then I actually am prone because I've already accessorized my life as a coffee drinker. Like, what do I put that away and then just go to a regular cup with a dunking tea? I don't think so, right? I'm going to get all the accoutrements that go with tea as well, right? Like the process is something, right?
Yeah. And tea is a huge market in Canada, and it's the fastest growing beverage in the world. And it is the biggest beverage in the world. Like it beats out Coke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
I believe
for
it.
sure.
Yeah, that's really.
And the average tea drinker has 12 blends in their cupboard. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I have one kind of coffee in my cupboard. It's my favorite coffee. It's the only coffee I'm going to use. But if in talking with my customers with tea, often I have friends that have 20 kinds of my tea and drink them all.
You're actually not wrong. My wife drinks
that.
Yeah.
Probably
because each cup is independent, right? Like if you use a coffee machine, like I have, an espresso machine. I'm not mixing beans. Like someone says I want decaf, I'm thinking, I don't know if that's not going in the machine.
Yeah.
we're not doing that. You want a flavor. It is Daddy you want it in the house. Never mind on the machine. I'll do it, but that's a whole, you know what I mean? So you can't with tea, it's like every experience is its own.
It's true. And they use tea at different times of day, different types of tea, right?
Exactly.
And for them, I think for a lot of people, they'll love a good herbal in the afternoon, and that's the experience. It's a soothing, calming thing for them, which probably would help people like you and me. Because I don't know about you, but I get pretty souped up on the coffee.
I get souped up by just waking up. So
yeah. Yeah.
I feel like all three of us. I don't know that the three of us together in a bar is a good idea.
That would be dangerous. Yeah, that's really not wise.
We spent 30 minutes with you, and I feel like I think we need a couple of other people there because I don't know if you could leave three of us.
Plus, I feel like I've known you a long time. It's a weird, which I like this feeling. So.
Oh, that's cool. Funny thing about tea too, or the bar, what you just mentioned. When I had my restaurant, the tea makes lovely mixers and inexpensive mixers.
Oh.
So all of the cocktails on our menu at the restaurant were tea cocktails, tea-based.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what though? Like, give me a
wild blueberry.
It was like a play on a Cosmo. So we would use berry burst tea, which is elderberries and hibiscus. And that was our base. And then that with vodka, triple sec, lime, and a squirt of simple syrup. And you pretty much had like we called it a mummer. I don't know if you guys know what a mummer is.
No.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas tradition in Newfoundland where people still do it, but back in the day you would get dressed up in like sheets and you would pretty much go around at Christmas looking like a ghost to your neighbors and your friends to go for drinks. So
that's awesome.
We would call that one the mummer. And then there was the screecher because screech is our rum.
Screech.
So that one was a peach apricot tea with screech, simple syrup. It was a ginger simple syrup because that's important, details, and a bit of lemon juice. and that was phenomenal. So yeah, pretty much all of the blends make beautiful, beautiful, healthy cocktails. If there's such a thing as a healthy cocktail.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
There you go.
At least I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all over it anyway. So that's yes. There's lots of them. They're so healthy.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking at your list, like thinking about reformulating now. What else could we add? Yeah.
Are you at the show today, Phil?
No, I was there yesterday and Monday and Tuesday, or no, yeah, Monday and Tuesday, but not today.
Okay, so I missed you. I would say I'd give you some
Or Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah.
And you're heading home when?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Nice.
Got it.
Yeah, so we're gonna go back to the show for a couple of hours.
Okay.
It's a great show.
Yeah, it's been a good show. It's the Canadian Isles are rocking this year. Like they are.
Did you notice the US aisles?
Yeah.
Not rocking?
Oh
you could pull down those aisles.
And
well,
even
you know what?
Even the products. Is this going on? You're not gonna put this on the podcast?
Oh yeah, this all goes.
Oh, I can edit it, but
you can edit it out. But at the end of the day, listen, we've talked about it ad nauseum, him and I.
Oh yeah,
so people know our feeling. Yeah. I have no problem with Americans.
You're not.
No, me neither. Americans are my best customers.
Yeah,
but right now we are very Canadian. Like we've always been Canadian, but we are very Canadian right now.
I find, so I walked through and I was shocked. Like the state of Illinois is there saying visit Illinois with a sign. And I was like, how can you be like, why would you come here with that right now?
I think because they're trying, because I think a lot of them are doing the same thing. It's the same thing that we just said. Is for many of them, they're thinking, we didn't ask for this either. Like we don't even know what's happening.
Yeah.
Like this isn't the relationship that I hate to say it, that it was.
No.
Because I don't know what it's going to be going forward. We'll still, like the three of us said, it's not an American people thing.
No,
it's a political thing, but it's really hurt us emotionally up here. And I don't think a lot of them really get that. It's I mean, do your thing.
I think we're mourning. I know I'm kind of in mourning. So for up until January, you know, especially like government advisors and representatives were like, you have to penetrate the U.S. market. You know, you've got to come with us to trade missions to Atlanta Mart. You've got to get down there. We want you exporting to, and the U.S. was the next spot.
Right.
So for me, I found this year, especially like, you know, up until December, it was, okay, next year I'm going to get off the island and try to go to the U.S.
Right.
Because it's a bigger market.
Yeah.
And then January hit, and I'm like, what do I do now? What am I supposed to do? You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've kind of just sat back and just kind of gone with the flow. I don't make a lot of money, but it doesn't take me much to live. And I've had a few opportunities, very last minute, to go to a couple shows, and I hopped on them. I took my fun vacation money, my son money, and I spent it on business trips this year, and it's paid off. Luckily.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
but
awesome.
Nothing is an easy sell these days.
No.
Right.
No. It never is.
But no. You know, like for you, like the payoff might be coming to you actually, right? Because we're reading that too, is that, you know, Americans are coming up here, especially the ones that, you know, they don't really like what's happening.
The more liberal Americans.
Yeah. And so they're coming up here because, one, the dollar's better for them, right? And then they need somewhere to go to escape the madness as well. So they come up here.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, you know, you were talking about how these make for nice gifts. And I was thinking about, I don't know if you know them, the Nova Scotia Cookie Company.
No.
I can't remember her name. I hate that.
But they do a lighthouse shortbread cookie, which is amazing, right? And she was talking about how cruise ship, the whole you know, when cruise ships come up, they basically wipe out her stock, right? Like, you know, it is the selling season, right? So to pair you with something like that, so when folks come up with, is kind of cool.
I picture you out here.
Yeah.
Like I think you could totally be a BC brand.
So the
because it's very
BC
similar.
market is so hard to penetrate.
It's like everything, we'll take this part offline because there's a lot of things I would love to talk to you about more business side to just understand what you're doing and what you want to do, because I think you got a cool play because your packaging is very nice and it lends well across this country.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have moose, Alberta has moose. Like
Everybody has moose.
and we're 1 trillion miles from the center of the planet too. Like it's BC, man. It's like, we live in our own little world out here too.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we might be the spaciest in the country. Like we are totally sometimes out in left field somewhere.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
I like it. We don't care. We don't apologize for it. We quite like it.
Yeah.
And we just tell everybody, like in Vancouver, it rains all the time, so none of you come out. Just stay home.
It's a lie, though.
The weather's so bad.
It's not a lie. It rains every day, Phil.
No, it's a lie.
Yes, it does.
It's beautiful.
Miserable.
Listen, I'm in Ontario. Everybody hates us anyway, so I might as well just tell the truth.
It's a terrible city.
In BC. Everybody should go there. Just overcrowd the place for sure. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It wasn't so bloody expensive. They would have.
BC, it's very expensive. BC is the second most beautiful place in Canada. You need to come to
Newfoundland.
I'm going. So I'm going there. I'm going to be there the middle. I'm going to St. John's only. So, but I'm there for 3 or 4 days. We've never been.
Yeah.
And we're bringing the family. So,
you're going as a vacation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're very excited. Like I don't, I think so. It'll be exciting because we've never been, and it's on my list of places to go. So we're gonna go do St. John's for 3-4 days. So
you need to get out of St. John's to see Newfoundland. Just saying.
I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna head up and hit a bunch of places. We have a good friend of the podcast who lives in Trinity. I don't think I'll quite make it that far, but
I have I have a trailer in the 2 towns over from Trinity. It's a beautiful area.
Yeah. So and sorry to go back just for a second. The Nova Scotian Cookie Company is run by Jenna Ross. So Jenna was the one who was kind of talking about like they make shortbread cookies that look like lighthouses.
Mm-hmm.
And like cruise season comes around, their cookies get wiped out, because cruise ship people are always looking for great tourist things.
Yeah.
So you feel like a really great like shortbread and tea, kind of combo, right? So
yeah.
Interesting. We'll connect you guys.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend who owns a natural care, health and skin care company in Corner Brook, and she actually has a shed on the dock. So in Corner Brook, they rent out sheds to local businesses.
Yeah.
So she sells quite a bit of my tea to the passengers there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you feel like, because of the product's beautiful, and then the designs are beautiful, the tea is amazing.
The tea is top notch.
It feels like you could do that, and then like you do that with a mug. The mug to me is like a tin almost, right? Like, somehow tea turns into magic when it's in a tin because, right? Like you put it in a tin and everybody can sell it, right? No matter what it is. So I feel
the problem with tins is that like they just raise the price.
True. Absolutely.
And then the space you need, like I have 28 blends in 3 sizes.
Yeah. Oh my
god.
So
already I have a small storage unit.
Yeah.
The tins are.
And when you ship them, if you're shipping air already, tins is like just more air because
you
can't do. They're that they don't bend.
Yeah.
You're stuck with the thing, a size, right?
I'm not suggesting you do a tin. I'm just saying I don't know why.
No, we understood you. I got you.
People go crazy over tins, right? So, but I think the mugs, like.
A mug would be cool as a gift.
And your teapots, they're kind of the great.
That's potter in Newfoundland in St. John's makes my pottery.
Oh, that's amazing.
I could also see I could see mugs with the logo on it, with the moose and seriously, one side is the indigenous moose, the other side would be the logo. Like that cup would be just a cool cup.
Do you do t-shirts?
Do I what?
Sorry, I'm not trying to grow your business a whole.
Merchandising would be cool. T-shirts would be awesome.
I've got t-shirts.
Yeah, you should.
I have t-shirts, I have baby onesies, I have
Oh my God, I would buy one of those.
Yeah, see, I think the merchandising aspect of your logo is that the whole package is that cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you could definitely do it. It's really slick.
Thank you.
Wow. You need to get you a good tattoo artist downtown in St. John's and say, listen, man, you know, this is what you got to do. See if you can get a cut.
It's not a bad idea.
You got to try, right? Why not?
There you go.
You get a year. You got to get the tattoo and sign up for a year's supply of tea.
Yeah, there you go. Sign up for 10 years. You get a free tattoo.
Oh my God. There you go. New income stream.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. There's definitely playing. It's nice.
Yeah,
it really is. It's very well done.
Thank you.
You are doing amazing things. I am so glad we met you.
Thank you. I am too. I was so nervous going into this. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, you killed it. You're
nervous. So yeah. Thank you for doing this. Do you have so if folks want to find you, like, do you have social media stuff they can follow, Instagram,
web page, whatever, both?
And I have Facebook, Instagram. My website is, it looks pretty, but it doesn't work well. I made the mistake of going with Square. So I have a freelancer who is currently bringing it over to Shopify for me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, life gets a lot easier.
Go alone.
Yeah, my coffee company's on Squarespace. My tea company's on Shopify, and they're two different worlds.
So you have a tea company?
I have a microground tea company, and I have two coffee companies.
What companies? Send me information about your companies.
Well, we're going to chat offline. We're going to connect because I want to see if I want to make sure that you're capable of running across the country financially sound.
Okay.
I think you're
hang on for 1 second. I'm gonna stop the recording. Thanks for listening, you guys.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
Why is it not stopping? Stop. Because it sounds like Kenny wants to talk to you.